Okay, so our next guy is logical. We have, if we look at the bracket here, team is best priest NA, so I seem to think that he will probably be playing a priest. So we'll see how this goes. So we are up against a hunter. Now, usually in a tournament setting, hunters are not the rush types. Usually they're actually more interested in being controlling. But it's hard to tell, right? So we're not going to have sap, and we're not going to have the big game hunter. This is a good turn 2 combo, and it's very good against aggro. So I'm not displeased with this. Now, Thalnos is not a great early game card, nor is Eviscerate, but I do have a lot of control if in fact he is a rush hunter. Okay, so maybe he is actually a rush hunter, starting out with the leper gnome. So now it seems like an attractive play to put out the abusive sergeant here, particularly because we're going to backstab him. And if he is a face rush hunter, he'll go right over my face, or right over the abusive sergeant. Either way, it's a victory. So we are going to do this turn. Well, that doesn't matter. Next turn is backstab, or well, it can actually be coin. SI7, and that would be better. Coin backstab SI7 if necessary. Okay, tracking.
Get in there and fight!
He has his own abusive sergeant. He's going to go right for my face, of course. Okay. So we will do exactly this. We'll clean out the board. So we're going to coin, we're going to backstab, and we're going to SI7.
This guy's tough.
Job's done.
There we go.
Ready to ride.
Right, Wolf Rider is going to go right for the face. So this is very much a face rush hunter. So we have to be careful and play it as such. So what we're going to do here is trade, and we'll put out the loot order.
Hey, lights out.
And when I say be careful, what I mean is that we want to avoid hitting very many of his creatures or removing his creatures with the hero daggers. Well, or any weapon. Now, next turn could very well be hero dagger and bloodsail, but I don't want to remove a lot of his creatures with them. Okay, companion. And it is the best one, of course. So we can answer this with a Thalnos Eviscerate pretty compellingly. And I think we will do that, although I am a little bit wary of Unleash the Hounds. Coming up next turn, Timberwolf, Buzzard, and Unleash the Hounds works really well here. And it will give him 6 damage on me, but that's not a big deal. We will be wary about playing any more creatures, though. Next turn is an easy Assassin's Blade if he gives me no reasons to not do that. Okay, yeah, I was right. We are going to have the combo here. The Timberwolf will be after this, presumably. This would be a great opportunity for Blade Flurry if I had it. Otherwise, we will certainly trade.
Get in there and fight, maggot.
Okay, no Timberwolf. That's good. He's going to clear off my board. Okay, it's only good for us. We get cards, which means we get options. And that is an excellent one. So, we could Bloodsail here. We could Hero Power Deadly Poison Bloodsail. Instead, I think we're going to Sengen. It is painful to waste the mana, but it's the safe thing to do. Now,
so many options.
The other thing is, if we did that, if we went Deadly Poison Bloodsail, we use all of our mana, we could also remove the Starving Buzzard. Now, that'd take us down to 19, and it opens us right up, but it also gives us a 4/3 on the board. And on turn 6, with me only having 1 creature on the board, hunters don't have a lot of things to do. I'm quite wary about that, but it might be the right choice to prevent him from getting more cards. I think we will do this.
Here we go.
Not ideal, but we're gonna see. Okay, we have another animal companion. He again gets lucky with the Misha. Eaglehorn bow. Okay. and so he's going to take that 5. So we have options here, but I think the easy one has to be the Sen'jin. It's mana inefficient, but it also is safety. The only other thing that we could do is Azure Drake. That's the only reasonable option. And he has 6 on the board plus 3 in hand is 9. So I'm not comfortable with that. So we're going to do this. Okay, kill command. It's going to take it right out. Better kill command there than on my face. Flare for the card draw, and he's just going to hit me for 9, presumably. No, he's going to trap. Steady shot, that's 11. So I am now down to 6 health. So I have to either clear his board somehow, or and Blade Flurry is a great way to do it. Yeah, in fact, that's the only easy play to make, and it is a very easy play to make. We will Azure Drake for the card, and then we will Blade Flurry to clean out his board. Now, he can absolutely still win here. In fact, it's quite likely that he will. But we do have the potential to come back from this. No, we don't. That's a steady shot Arcane Golem finish. Okay, so we have the odds stacked against us, but at least one more and probably, hopefully, 2 more games to go here. Alright, so now he did go into his collection and potentially change some things in between matches, which is perfectly acceptable in the Managrind Open, so that's fine, but I wonder what he may have done. So we have to assume that he's still going to be in rush mode, and if not, it actually is irrelevant because the deck will work just fine against a Control Hunter no matter what happens. So I think that this is not a bad place to start. I like this for early anti-aggression. This is okay for that. This is a good early minion. So I think that I am going to keep this, even though it's not the most ideal thing. Obviously a backstab would have been nice to have, or even Perdition's Blade. SS7 is good too. I'm sad that last game we didn't actually even get a single Perdition's Blade. That would have helped immensely, I think, at different points. He's got the ideal starting run to draw into a combo.
Mind if I roll knee?
Okay. So this turn, we're just going to do a simple Hero Dagger and Deadly Poison.
Here we go.
Now, arguably, I should have kept the Deadly Poison for another turn, but because I have Backstab, I still have an easy way of comboing out the SI7, should I need to. Okay, Swamp Ooze. That is probably what he switched out. He probably switched out some of his early creatures for a Swamp Ooze, knowing that I am a rogue and I use Blade Flurry and weapons. That's a good choice, that's a good adaptation. We are going to combo with the SI7 engine.
Ha, this guy's toast.
Job's done.
Okay, another companion. He happily got the worst one. This turn could also be an Assassin's Blade. And if it were to be an Assassin's Blade, then we would do a 3-2, and we would take him out, and we would get a card and hit him for 3. The likelihood of him having another Ooze in there is not... it's quite high, frankly. The alternative is we could still do the same thing. We could go 1 and 2, and that would mean that the SI7 is down to 3-1. But we have an Azure Drake out there with a card. So I think that's not a bad choice. I think that is the choice that I'll make. And we've drawn into a win condition.
Give me that.
Hey, lights out.
Job's done.
Okay. He has a lot of cards in his hand, and so it's curious because he switched, it seems, from what looks like a Rush Hunter into something a lot slower. And so maybe he, in order to adapt to my deck, actually switched into a control hunter deck. It could be that he's running the same thing, but how slowly he's making his decisions and how slowly he's playing generally leads me to think that he may have actually changed his deck out entirely. No, or maybe he didn't. He is being much more controlling than he was. Now, okay. So I have a good deal of options here, but what we're absolutely going to do first is hit with this.
Hey, lights
if it's
out.
explosive, it'll die. If it's misdirection, it'll hit me, but it won't die because I have a weapon out. Yep, okay, fine. So now, Azure Drake is strong. Azure Drake Hero Daggers is strong. The only other option is Leroy Perditions, which is not good yet. So we are going to do this. Okay, good. We have the Bloodsail, which we have a lot of weapons in the hand to combo with, so that's only a good thing.
Job's done.
Okay, Timberwolf, and that'll be a kill command, yeah, absolutely. That's good, again, that's a kill command that is not directed at my face. He's quite concerned, it seems, about me having spell power. So concerned that he actually gave me a mana crystal much earlier than usual. Okay, so Perdition's Blade to start off here is good. Essentially, it will kill the wolf and hit him. We have 5 more mana to play with after that, so we could either we could put out a Sengen, which is not a bad choice, especially after he's just used his kill command there. Yeah, actually, I like that. I like that. Perdition's Blade and Sengen is probably the right thing. Other choices could be a Bloodsail and an Eviscerate with the Perditions, but I think that this is probably best.
Here we go.
Eaglehorn Bow. And a kill command, so he'll use a card and take the damage himself in order to get rid of the taunt. He is playing a much slower game. So slow, in fact, that if I get Shadow Step next turn, he's very close to being dead. So I didn't. But by the same token, I don't think that changes much. I can hit him. I think the choice is actually Assassin's Blade and Bloodsail. It leaves 2 mana on the table. But I don't want to blow my Eviscerate. He's playing so much more controlling. I want to be really careful about how I use my Eviscerate, and right now I think I'm quite ahead. So we're going to do this. I'm going to save my Abusive Sergeant for Leroy. Now, do I want to play Eviscerate? Actually, I just said I didn't, but by the same token, this is 4 damage. He'll be down to 9. I hit for 3 and Leroy is 6, so as long as he doesn't have a taunt or a trap, I win. If he puts down a big taunt, I can use the Blade Flurry. So, you know, actually, I am going to Eviscerate him here.
Job's done.
We have a big lead, and we have a win condition in hand, so this may well work out for us. Okay, so Swamp Ooze will take that out. That is, for the record, one of the reasons why I don't tend to like Assassin's Blade, is because it has a potential to lose a lot of value if exactly that occurs. But he's got his own Leroy. And he's going to unleash the hounds. Yep. So now what happens here? He doesn't have a Timberwolf to buff it, presumably. He's coining out a Timberwolf to buff it. Or an Abusive Sergeant. Yeah, okay. So what does he have? He's going to control. And then he's going to hit me for 6. Okay, so he's in desperation mode here. And 6 plus 2 is 8, and Hero Daggers means I win.
Well played. Here we go.
There's a lot of Leroy happening today. And not just on my part either.
Time's up. Let's do this.
Okay, there we go. So, 1-1 in this second round of the Managrind tournament. Let's see what we can do in the tiebreaker match.
Valera versus
Okay. so match 3. Once again, he spent a good deal of time in the menu changing up the deck, so I'm curious to see what will change here. Now, opening hand-wise, we certainly don't need Sprint and we don't need Shadow Step. I'm fairly happy to keep both of these, especially having the coin. Good combo starters, and sort of good in general, particularly with the Bloodsail Raider. So now, one thing to do here might be, as weird as it is, to coin out the daggers, and then put down the Bloodsail on the following turn, because that would be a 3/3 on turn 2, for 2 mana, so that's very nice and efficient. So I think that's actually the course of action we're going to take.
Here we go.
Hopefully he doesn't first turn Acidic Swamp Ooze. Normally that would be quite a waste, but in this case it would actually be quite detrimental. Okay, so we have a Leper Gnome. So I don't really think that's worth a backstab. So instead I think we might just do this and hit it with the daggers. It always does suck to take the 4 damage out of a Leper Gnome, but making sure his board is clear is more important. Now he may well have gone back to a face rush sort of style. He also has a kill command in his hand, which is what he was aiming at there, I believe. Worst pick for him once again. That's good for us. He may well have gone back to this sort of rushing style, which would be, you know, that's certainly something. But I think I feel safe, at least for the moment, in keeping his board clean and removing things with the dagger. Speaking of which, I think we're going to do that right now with the backstab.
Here we go.
Okay, another animal companion. This time it's what he wants. Now, if I put down Blood Mage Thalnos and Blade Flurried here, I would kill that for free, essentially. The advantage to doing that is that I hit him for 4 damage to the hero, I clear this out, and then I hit him with this, and my board is clean. The disadvantage is that it's blowing a Blade Flurry on just the 1 creature. If we look at what he's done, though, he hasn't really ended up sort of loading up the board with creatures. And so, in the past 2 games, I mean, and so I actually feel somewhat safe doing that. It also means we get a card down the line, and Thalnos will have certainly fulfilled his value. So I think that is the right choice here. Next turn is the Drake, unless something goes wrong. Okay, Arcane Golem once again. This is a very early Arcane Golem, which... oh, this is very strange play. So he essentially has given me a free mana crystal and has done minimal damage to me. Now, the thing to do here that would be... I don't have the mana to do it, unfortunately. Sapping that would be good because it would give me another crystal. Now, the other thing I could do here is... I think I will end up trading it with my Bloodsail, because I have no interest in keeping that on the board. Put down the Drake anyway is probably the best play. I have... Now the other thing here is that I have 12 damage sitting in my hand in the form of Leroy, and so 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 is not quite enough. So the likelihood of him hitting me for... 18 in 1 turn is small, particularly on 6 mana. And so one way to play this would be to sap him, use the daggers, that's 4 mana, and so he would have to give me another crystal for that, and hit him for 4. If he doesn't put up a taunt, I win. And so I actually think that that is exactly what I'm going to do. So... Okay, so let's see how this pans out. We'll play the Arcane Golem again. Now, so that's only a benefit for us. He's going to kill command the Bloodsail. Is he going to trade with Thalnos? He's not, and that means he's just lost, which is great. So we're going to hit him for 1, for 2,
Go.
say well played, and then do the most infuriating combo of all time. And there we go. So, we are all the way out of, we've now won our first 2 rounds of 3 in the Managrind tournament, and so we are now 1 round out of the semifinals. So, we'll go report this victory and then see who we're fighting next.